Hello everybody, welcome to day 3 of Cavallo Premier Week. Today we get to talk about a product that is near and dear to my heart. A product that I've personally been working on for the last 15 years. And one thing before we even started that I wanted to address was there's a lot of FUD out in the marketplace about GP and the life cycle and lifespan of GP. And I've been telling people, as long as they would listen, that it's not something to be afraid of. ERP systems live for a very long time. I know I have still friends who still do work on AS400s. And GP isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And our commitment to GP isn't going away anytime soon. And this year, it was nice to have Microsoft confirm and put to rest a little bit of those fears and market uncertainty. And they put a blog post up confirming the future of GP through at least 2028. So we have a lot of really good years ahead of us. We have a lot of great features that we're going to show you today, and really just committed to the platform and the future and the success of what has been and will continue to be a fantastic platform. So now, to talk to us a little bit more about what we've been doing in the last year with SalesPad is our product manager, Alex Schellhaus.
Thank you, sir. Excellent, thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Welcome everybody to day 3. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what we've been up to over the past 12 months and where we decided to kind of invest our time and our efforts in building out additional features for SalesPad. And then we'll talk a little bit about where we're going over the short time, and then also talk kind of our long-term vision for the product as well. So what's new for SalesPad? The first one is Square. Square is uniquely positioned to help distributors, and we partnered with them to provide our shared customers with a tremendous customer to cash experience. They were able to help improve our application, improve SalesPad in a way that expands everything that they need from a payments perspective. Square offers a robust payments ecosystem that includes things like payment processing, absolutely, EMV terminal support, gift card support, and they really help kind of improve the experience of SalesPad. All of this is kind of built into our core application. We also partnered with PaceJet. PaceJet's a tremendous tool that integrates directly into Cavallo SalesPad, ensuring that each shipment that you get ready to process leaves your warehouse on time and on budget. PaceJet's super intuitive. It offers very powerful shipping tools that allow you to ultimately lighten the workload for your shipping in your teams. So what does PaceJet actually look like a little bit in action? Well, PaceJet works throughout your distribution cycle, automatically syncing sales data, automatically syncing information that makes sense, ultimately helping you ship product out the door quickly and accurate. And the PaceJet integration exists to save you time, so manual tasks like validating addresses and checking each carrier to see that they can meet your specific needs, all of that's handled with the PaceJet integration. And tracking information is sent to back and forth between PaceJet and SalesPad as well, making sure you're always up to date so that your sales teams, your warehouse teams have the accurate information that they need to accelerate that customer to cash process. We're excited to talk a little bit about what's next for SalesPad. Yesterday we talked extensively about Analytics Cloud and what we're going to be offering with that product, and all of our SalesPad customers are going to be able to take advantage of Analytics Cloud right away. It's going to be a module that you can use in SalesPad, and it's deeply integrated so that it's easy to go back and forth from Analytics Cloud right to SalesPad. So if you want to open up orders, quotes, anything that you need to open up, you've been given the clear call to action that you need to go do something in your system, you can easily open up the appropriate item in SalesPad, making that a seamless integration. And we're going to be launching a new product called Bridge that allows distributors to stay on SalesPad, but also manage their finances in Business Central. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. Super excited about that one. And we just released an integration with Shopify, and we're weeks away from delivering Magento as well. Excited to show you those. So first of all, let's take a deep dive into Analytics Cloud. What does that integration actually look like in practice? And we'll dive into that. So we're excited to announce that this integration exists. It's a separate module within SalesPad that allows you to do all of those integrations seamlessly throughout your system. It provides real-time analysis and optimization. It's a real-time analysis and optimization tool powered by machine learning, and it's that snapshot view of now versus always. How is your business operating now? How has it been operating? And giving you the insights that you need to make those strategic decisions. And it integrates directly, immediately into SalesPad with very little effort. And those deep data insights that you get around your process and how it's operating, eliminate some of those dependencies on experienced staff. Some of those questions around like how long do things take to pick? How long do things take to pack? How long does it take for my accounting team to actually evaluate an order? Somebody knows that, and oftentimes that ends up being a really experienced staff. And we've kind of surfaced all of that data, so everybody has access to that information. Analytics Cloud and SalesPad working together seamlessly ultimately helps distributors thrive. And it brings costly inefficiencies to light and helps you identify unique opportunities for profit at your organization. And so how does that actually work? Well, it captures point-in-time information as your documents are moving through your system. And it takes those and evaluates them and gives it to you in a way that's intuitive and in a way that makes sense for you. And we built that robust alerts engine that we talked about yesterday that allows you to be proactive and identify those issues before they even arise. And we created those alerts for orders that take too long to ship, documents that take too long to pick. You don't really have to ask anymore, is this document taking too long? The system is going to paint that picture for you, so you no longer have to ask those questions. So yesterday, Jeremy talked a little bit about what's next for Analytics Cloud, and I wanted to highlight that all of the Cavallo SalesPad customers are going to be able to take advantage of that as well. And one of the things he mentioned were the insights around customers and products, and what kind of insights should you expect from that in Analytics Cloud? And you're going to be able to tell the story of like who's buying from you and who's not buying from you, who was buying from you but is no longer buying from you. If a customer is for one quarter is purchasing 5 out of 5 products, and then the next quarter they're only purchasing 4 out of 5 products, we can help highlight that information so that you can take action on it. You can identify some of that white space and figure out, all right, these customers were buying from me. Perhaps I should do something about that. The system's going to help paint that picture for you this next year. So to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the next improvement that we're going to be offering here, Bridge, I'm going to pass that off to Ariel. Ariel's our product owner for Cavallo SalesPad, and excited to hear what she's going to show about Bridge.
Thank you, Alex. I'm here to talk about Bridge, and lately we've heard many organizations having the debate on whether they should move to a cloud ERP. Oftentimes you have your financial leaders pushing to modernize their ERP by moving to the cloud, while your operational teams are sitting there wanting to stay and wanting to still use what works and not have to deal with disruptions. We've heard this debate between financial leaders and your operational teams, and we've also heard several concerns that organizations have with migrating to the cloud. And some of these concerns that we've heard include the time it takes for these migrations. These migrations take a long time, but they also take a lot of money. The cost is expensive, and the return on investment takes quite a while to recuperate. Thirdly, the effort involved not only takes time and money, but it also takes human resources, which means you're taking time away from running your businesses. And lastly, the high risk of disrupting your operations. So when faced with this decision, many organizations want to stay, because they don't want this risk, they don't want the costs, and they don't want to have to take time away from running their businesses. So we've heard this feedback and we built Bridge, which is a low-risk mitigation plan for distributors to migrate to the cloud, but also while allowing you to use SalesPad. As you can see here, Bridge connects SalesPad to Business Central, while allowing you to use the strong operational capabilities of SalesPad, also using Business Central's accounting capabilities. There are several key advantages to why using Bridge works. One is that you get to save that time, cost, and effort of a new ERP deployment. Secondly, you get to choose exactly what and when you get to migrate. And thirdly, that risk of disrupting your operations is mitigated with a smooth transition. And then lastly, you get to still continue to extract value out of Microsoft Dynamics GP. So this is where your financial leaders and operational teams can meet in the middle and use a solution that works and that is modernized and still allows you to use SalesPad. With that, I will give it back to Alex.
Thanks, Ariel. Super excited about Bridge. I've mentioned a couple of times we've had over 150 interviews with distributors, and one of the things that they kept talking about over and over again was just the angst around actually switching ERP systems. And this has the opportunity to really help distributors thrive as they're considering, the pros and cons of moving and switching and changing to another ERP system. Excited about Bridge. One of the things that other organizations were telling us about kind of the future and where they wanted to go was general e-commerce type trends. The pandemic did a lot to this as a trend, and it accelerated it in many ways for a lot of distributors that were already exploring another sales channel. They were heavily dependent on B2B sales that were looking at transactions between sales reps and employees, and a lot of them decided, hey, we should probably explore another option, another channel. And this came up in integration with one of the best-in-class tools with Shopify. It came up all the time in our interviews, and we decided that we should really pursue this channel. So in order to help our customers consolidate orders and get a more clear picture of their inventory levels, we had to build that integration. So users can integrate with these systems to ensure that they have up-to-the-minute accuracy on their orders, on their inventory, so they're not having to ask questions. Oftentimes previously what they were doing was taking any transactions that happen out in your e-commerce platform and putting that in Excel and then manually importing into their ERP system or into Shopify. You can imagine how error-prone that could potentially be. It made a lot of sense for us to actually build out the integration. And so it automatically integrates Shopify to SalesPad to track all of those sales from the moment they're placed throughout your entire process, and gives that feedback, gives that information back to Shopify so that they can communicate on some of the order statuses as well. Shopify made a lot of sense for us. So Shopify, excited to show you that. Magento is going to be shortly after that, but to concentrate a little bit on Shopify some more, I'd like to introduce Matt. He's our Director of Operations and Sales Engineering at Cavallo.
Thanks, Alex. And before we jump into the demo, I just want to kind of reiterate something that Alex mentioned. The pandemic really made what could be argued as a nice to have, made it a must have for distributors, and that's the e-commerce channel. And so we really wanted to develop something in a very productized way that allowed distributors to simply connect their e-commerce platform to our distribution system to allow them to manage the orders, pick, pack, ship, and so on and so forth. And so that's what we're going to take a look at today. The connector, we're going to see an order flow through and just how simple that can be. In the absence of something like this, a connector that allows you to easily pass orders automatically into your system, You may be doing something like a flat file download and then an upload. You may be rekeying these orders into your system. Those are duplicate in nature. It's going to extend that time, cost more money, and it could lead to significant errors that can be costly down the line. So we want to make it simple, bring the orders in seamlessly, allow you to process them out. And so many of you are familiar with the Sales Monitor. I'm starting there just to provide a little bit of context. So I've got my workflow set up here. And I have a Shopify import queue. And so within our connector, we allow you to define the destination queue that your documents are going to flow into. And that's what we're going to see today. We're going to see a document in real time drop into that bucket. And so with that, let's talk a little bit about the connector. And this is the sort of the connector setup page. And I want to start here because I want to illustrate the fact that this can be a multi-component connection. You can do a number of things. First, you could do an order export. So order export, once you have the orders in, if you want to push something like tracking information back out to your platform, we can do an order export. We can also do an inventory export. So if you want to push inventory levels back up to the platform in real time so that your customers are seeing what you have available, you can do that as well. We also have a product export if you want to push product details up to the platform. And what we'll be talking about today is the order import, where it all starts. So you have an order placed in your Shopify platform by one of your customers. We want to bring that in to SalesPad so you can process it with our robust tool set. And so with that, we also have a settings section that allows you to define the particulars of your mapping. And we allow you to do that all through the UI so that there's very little to no developer requirement involved to get this set up and running. And so you can jump in here to something like order import as an example, and you can see your sales document assignment mapping and open this up. And this is simply going to allow you to define the target field and then the source. And so what field are you going to map that to? And so in this instance where we're looking at sales document assignment mapping, you can see things like sales document ID. What order do I want to create? And this is just your GP sales doc ID. The sales doc type, your zip, your state, your billing address, shipping address, all of that can be mapped very simply through the UI with no developer involvement. So it's very productized, very easy to get set up, very short time to value for you. And so with that, let's go ahead and actually look at a real scenario. I'm going to jump into my Shopify storefront here. And you can see that I do have a new order that was placed. It's in my orders queue, and this is something that I want to bring into the SalesPad environment. And so I've received that order through my site, and if I want to pull this into SalesPad, I'm going to run my order import. Now, I'm running this on demand just so that I can show in real time in the demonstration this document flowing through. We also have the ability to set this up on a schedule. So you can run this every minute, every 5 minutes, a particular time of day, a particular day of the week. You don't have to touch this once it's defined. But I'm going to go ahead and run this now. And once I've run this, we're going to see a timestamp. We're going to get a confirmation that it's run. The documents will push through. And if I jump back to my Sales Monitor and refresh, you can see that one document was dumped into my Shopify order import queue. That was what was pulled in from my e-commerce platform. And here's the item, here's the customer, all the details are brought over. So now I can go ahead and process that as I would any other order I've received via phone, fax, or other means. When we demo this to customers, it takes about 10 minutes, and that's by design. It's very simple. It's not overly complicated. You set up the mapping, let it run. The other thing that's nice in these settings is once you have that defined, if you want to push this similar definition over to another site, maybe you've bought up a number of domains and you manage those, you want them all to sync, you can just effectively update the API and the password and have that push those documents as well. So very simple to redeploy to other instances of Shopify once you have it all set up. And with that, I'll pass it back to Alex.
Excellent. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Really excited about our Shopify integration. As I mentioned, Magento is also going to be coming in the next couple of weeks even. We should see that very soon, and I'm excited to talk about that. To talk a little bit of a longer roadmap for SalesPad, I'd like to reintroduce Ariel, our product owner for SalesPad.
Looking forward to 2022, So, as you heard yesterday about Analytics Cloud and earlier today, how our current SalesPad customers can take advantage of Analytics Cloud, we're excited to continue investing into Analytics Cloud and offering new integrations and features through 2022. Secondly, we know transparency is critical to running your businesses. So with that, we want to invest in improving our transparency for your sales teams. Sales teams will now be able to fully and exactly know where their quotes and orders are in the sales funnel, further increasing your sales and your profits. Thirdly, we'd like to focus on our API. We've heard from many of our customers that they want to utilize our API to integrate with us. APIs are a modernized way to integrate between applications, so it just makes sense for us to invest in that. What we'll be doing is we'll be making the API more simple and understandable so that our customers can integrate at their own pace. Lastly, we want to work on business object workflows in our workflow and profit engine. We know that the workflow and profit engine is very useful for our distributors, so we want to improve the experience for customers, purchase orders, and items, business objects in workflow profit engine. And with that, I will hand it back off to Alex.
Excellent. Well, appreciate that, Ariel. Excited about our roadmap for SalesPad. This has been a great week. And I actually want to pass it back to Jeremy to do kind of a full recap of our week and talk a little bit about that. Really appreciate your time. Great to talk to everyone.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for attending our Cavallo Premier Week. Just to recap a little bit of what you've seen, we started off with our new execution and control platform with Distribution Cloud. So the ability in the cloud with Business Central to be able to optimize the individual tasks for sales reps, CSRs, to control and have workflow across the organization to be able to be nimble at speed. Yesterday, we saw Analytics Cloud, future of distribution data science, the ability to get insights at every level of the organization. And then today, we got to see SalesPad and the great things that we have planned. So we're really excited about our new products, excited about our existing products and the direction that we're going, and all the profitability that we can drive to the bottom line for distributors. So thank you all for attending. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat, Alex, team, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. All right, Alex and I are ready to answer your questions once again. Alex, you want to pick up the first one?
Sure. Hopefully everybody can hear us today. So let's pick up the first question. Analytics Cloud for SalesPad, is this available now? Not quite yet, but it will be. I think we're about a month and a half away from launch, so we'll be talking about that specific announcement as it approaches, but we're very, very close.
Yep, we're really excited to get that one pushed out. So look forward to some more announcements from us, promotions, various things as we get a little bit closer.
Yep.
All right. Does Shopify work with Shopify Plus? So our Shopify connector is designed for base Shopify. We've done some looking at Shopify Plus, and I think we'll probably have some more announcements for that in the future. You probably have a few more details.
So it works with Shopify Plus with a couple of caveats. I think when distributors buy just Shopify Plus, they're often looking for things like special unique pricing. actual like user login and special terms. So some of those things won't necessarily be supported, but the base Shopify integration will absolutely work. If you're looking to, sync orders, sync inventory levels, all of that will still work. It's just some of those extra things that Shopify Plus supports that we won't do quite yet. But.
So we'll pull down orders, customers, inventory, all that will work with Shopify Plus. We're just not yet supporting their custom pricing, coupons for like specific things to Shopify Plus yet.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So we've got a question here. How long does it take to implement Shopify? One of the beautiful things about Shopify is that it's incredibly easy. So we put in all of the defaults in there, so you can be up and running. So if you have a store established already, you just need to kind of install that, would partner with us, talk a little bit about how you want to manage the inventory. So a lot of distributors want to make it so they're only sending out like, hey, 80% of my inventory or 60% of their inventory. The integration can handle that, so you're only putting certain inventory out on your storefront. So we would have a little bit of a conversation around that, and we can get you up and running very, very quickly.
Another one here on Shopify. Who do we contact to set up a demonstration for Shopify integration? You can always reach out to your client account team. So whoever your particular account manager is will be able to set that up for you. We're already doing quite a few of these for customers. So we're ready to go, ready to show that, excited to be able to offer that integration.
Yeah. We've got another question here around, is Bridge available for GP? And the answer is no, mostly because SalesPad already works with GP seamlessly. So the real goal of Bridge is to make it so you can use SalesPad and integrate that into Business Central. So if you want to do that, absolutely, that's supported. If you want to just integrate GP without SalesPad into BC, I don't believe that's supported either. That'd be kind of a unique case that we'd have to test. But
yeah, some of the fundamentals might work there since we're operating off the tables, but we didn't explicitly design it for that. So yeah, Bridge mostly just to take your SalesPad and GP environment, continue to operate at the operational level there, at inventory, purchasing, receiving, continue to do all that in SalesPad and GP, and then we ship invoices and inventory transactions and all the financial information over to Business Central.
Yep.
All right, one more here. Will these 3 sessions be available offline? Yes, absolutely they will. I don't know the exact timing. I expect in the next couple weeks, something like that. We'll probably push them out. But you look for some communication from us. I'm sure we'll post on various social medias about the availability of those.
Got a question here about analytics, and will analytics work with SalesPad on-premise? And the answer is absolutely. So if you want to use Analytics Cloud, we're going to work with you to kind of install that, set everything up, and you'll be able to access that as a module. So if you're familiar with SalesPad, you'll click on it, you'll click on Analytics Cloud and be able to access it right in the application. Or you can access it from a browser, but absolutely it'll work with SalesPad on-prem.
Yeah, it's designed to work completely seamlessly. So we basically set up an application on your server to send the data that we need. All of that is set up automatically. There's very little to no configuration, and then you're up and running.
Yep.
Will Analytics Cloud require getting the latest version of SalesPad Desktop? That's a good question. I don't believe it requires necessarily the latest version. There is a cutoff. I don't have the exact version offhand.
I don't know the exact version. So there's a couple of caveats that I think that we should talk about here. One being like we've built the application to do deep linking so that you can go right from, if you're accessing it in Chrome, for example, you can jump right from Chrome and it'll deep link, meaning it'll actually open up the literal sales document in SalesPad. Some of those like minor features will be, you'll need a newer version of SalesPad. We can connect later and get you the exact version. But for the most part, it's it's going to be supporting pretty far back. But we can respond offline on the very specific version. But
A few more here. Sorry, some detailed feature questions, trying to figure out if I can answer those with fidelity here. This one here I can get to. Is PaceJet going to replace ShipCenter? The answer there is no. They both have unique cases where they're going to continue to be used. So ShipCenter is not going away. We're continuing to develop on that. It's just, PaceJet has a particular set of strengths, in freight, LTL, some of those areas where, we're not going to replicate those, and they're position them correctly for whatever your need is.
We've got a couple of really detailed questions. I would just, say reach out to our support team, or we can contact, get in touch after the fact. But some are questions on, like reserve stock and specific items, quantities for specific customers. I'd just say let's chat about that.
See, when can we see a demo of the Magento integration? I think we're probably
Very close, yeah.
very close to having or being able to do that. The good part is you saw a demo of the Shopify integration. They're architected pretty much exactly the same way. So if you've seen that, just same setup screens but connected to Magento with some additional components for Magento, but very similar. So as far as the demo goes, it will look and operate very, very similarly.
We've got a question here on the APIs one could use to access SalesPad Desktop with from a web application. I would say just check out we've got pretty robust documentation on the API. We can definitely make sure that we connect and send you that documentation. Any other questions? Let's see.
I think that's pretty much everything from the list here that we've gotten to. All right.
Cool.
Oh, is there one more? I don't see another one. All right, well, I think that's it for the questions. Thanks so much for sticking around and hanging out with us here to answer these. Thank you for attending today's session for SalesPad, and for those of you who attended the rest of the sessions for Distribution Cloud, Analytics Cloud. Thanks for hanging around and seeing what we have going on. And there will be a lot more in the future. We'll be releasing more specifics as we get closer to the actual launch date. So keep tuned on our social, look at our website, stay in touch with your client account managers. We have a lot of features, a lot of products being released here soon. So look for a lot more from us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.